This is every Java keyword explained in approximately 3 minutes. First, your primitive data types are keywords, so your byte, short, int, long, float, double, boolean, and char. Byte, short, int, and long all hold integer values, just of different memory. Float and double hold real number values, boolean holds a true or false, and char stores a single character. For loops iterate through a specified condition. If statements will run the code block given inside of them if the condition is true, else will only run under the conditions that it is stated and that the statement inside of the if block is false. Else if will run if the if statement given is false and that the condition inside of it is true. A while loop will run as many times as the condition is stated is true, and do while will run once and then as many times as the condition is true. Switch statements will take a data type as a parameter and search for the adequate case assigned to it. Default is a statement typically put at the end of a switch statement just in case none of the cases adequately assigned to the variable. Break and continue are statements typically used in loops. Break will break out of the current loop that you're in despite the condition, and continue will iterate the loop one more time without running the code that succeeds it. Try, catch, and finally typically go together. It is required for a try and a catch to go together for code to compile properly. Any code written within the try block will run unless it's supposed to cause an error in which the code inside of the catch block will execute. The finally keyword is used after the catch block, and that'll just run the code that's inside of the finally block regardless whether there was an error thrown or not. The only difference between the throw and the throws keyword is that the throws will typically be used on classes, and that'll throw an exception for the whole class, while the throw keyword will only be used within methods. Class and interface. Create classes and interface. Public, private, static, and void can all be applied to classes, methods, and variables except void, which can't be applied to variables. Package is just for the IDE that holds a list of programs. Implement and extends are used for classes and interfaces. You can extend classes upon classes, you can extend interfaces upon interfaces, but you have to implement interfaces for classes. Abstract is different from methods and classes, typically used in interfaces with methods. Abstract methods have no body. Abstract classes can't have an object created of themselves and can only be accessed when inherited. Initializing or declaring a variable as final means you cannot change the value of that variable ever again. The protected modifier is sort of similar to private. It's used for methods and constructors and makes your data available in the same package and subclass. Native and transient you're almost never going to use. Native is weird. I'm pretty sure you just apply it to a method and then its purpose is to make that method translate for other languages. Transient, on the other hand, just kind of makes your data invisible. Like if you were to apply transient to an integer, you're just going to have that integer be set to 0 when you try to display it. Synchronized methods enable a simple strategy for preventing thread interference and memory consistency errors. A volatile variable will not display its cached value. It'll have its value derived from the main memory. The new keyword is used when creating a new instance of an object. Import is used at the very beginning of a program to import certain classes. Instance of is just a Boolean operator. It'll tell you whether or not the object that you're trying to get the instance of is of an instance of a certain class. The return keyword will return a value if the method given is not void. This keyword refers to methods and classes where it will grab the value given within that class, while the super keyword conjoins with inheritance where it will grab the value of the parent class.